and gentlemen, it's your boy Mr. Hood, and I'm from the show Creeps. Where if there's suspicion, we will listen. If your girl is missing, we gon' find her. If your husband is lying, we gon' blind her. Cause we gon' be hiding behind the blind, watching his ass doing some creepy ass shit. Cause half of these people out here are creeping and doing some nasty shit, and we gon' find out. So welcome to the show Creeps.
Run it up, run it up, get the bag, fuck it up, run it up, run it up, get the bag, fuck it up, run it up, run it up, get the bag.
If your girlfriend laying next to you not speaking, the bitch is creepy. If your man out here always hanging with his friend Dan, that nigga sleeping somewhere else. Don't trust these niggas, don't trust these hoes.
And her new Jimmy Choo, got these niggas looking at me like, babe, what it do?
Eventually, this show is gonna show you how to be a more better creeper. Cause if I can catch you creeping, then your ass ain't creeping right. You got to creep subliminally. Thank you for tuning in to Creepers.
Yo, live and direct. Live and direct. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's a little choppy too. Let me put my glasses on. Damn.
I know that always
I had started it wrong. It was a little choppy, man. Thank everybody for tuning in. Street Talk Media Podcast. We live and direct. Got a crazy show for y'all. I got my host joining in now. Hood, run it down, big dog. What's your let the people know who you are, run it down. E.
What's your boy, Mr. Hood, from Street Talk Media. I'm tuning in today to talk about some very interesting internet topics. Well, real people, real life, because it's the internet to us, but people really getting hurt. So that's what we're gonna be talking about today.
Yeah. E, what it do, babe?
What's up, y'all? Well, y'all already know I'm your girl, Lady Explicit. This is Street Talk Media. We are here with y'all every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Make sure y'all subscribe our YouTube, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. Again, Street Talk TV Media. You can find us on YouTube every Tuesday and every Thursday. Tuesdays, we got Trending Topic Tuesdays, and every Thursday, we got Throwdown Thursdays. So make sure y'all tune in, subscribe, turn on your notifications so that when we are live, you're live and you can hear all the good things. Well, not all of them is good, but all the things we're talking about that's going around in the world.
For sure. C, how you doing today?
Hey guys, it's your girl Sierra C. Welcome to Street Talk Media. So excited about today. And it's a pleasure always to be here with you guys once again. Another week, another topic.
Yeah. It's a good one on this trending topics Tuesdays. And even though it's sad, we got to talk about this type of information. So let's get right into it. Look, Indian shit, man. What's that guy's name? Indian red boy, man. I be losing track of these dudes' names, man. Indian red boy. I think everybody know now from all the blogs and people talking about it. Was basically shot and killed, and he had, I think, a lot to do with Nipsey Hussle's mural in California, in LA, right next to the neighborhood. The mural was being destroyed, and they said that these guys was the one that did it. From apparently they tagged their names on the wall, and I guess was kind of making it clear, who it was that destroyed the mural, basically. So he just got shot recently, and it's a sad story, man. But I mean, what y'all think about this type of gang violence and what's going on with the social networks and people dying on IG Live now? Like, it's crazy.
Well, just to kind of give a little bit of background, he was a LA native, part of the Bloods. And like you said, he went on live making fun of the fact that he, defaced Nipsey Hussle's mural. His real name, just so that way everybody knows, is Zarel Rivera. He was 21 years, up and coming artist by, again, Indian Red Boy. And he was on live kicking it. Well, not kicking it, but on live in his car, talking to his friend like it was any normal day, and in Hawthorne, and they just walked up on him and shot him about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so broad daylight. Um, I guess people just are not giving a fuck about any type of life. I don't know if he had any kids. I don't know if but I'm sure he was somebody's son, somebody's brother, somebody's friend. Um, but defacing a mural is one thing. Killing Nipsey Hussle is a whole never other retaliation. But he wouldn't necessarily have anything to do with the death of Nipsey Hussle, so I don't want anybody to think that's why they retaliated on him. But I think they could have probably definitely addressed it in another way. Um, we have they just defaced George Floyd's mural that they had some white supremacists, but you don't see people walking up on them and killing them dead. You know, it's a building, it's a painting. You paint it once, you can paint it again. But to lose your life, especially so young, it definitely is sad. Now, I'm sure it is something more to the story other than just defacing a mural. I mean, with these gangbangers, or gang people, you got the Bloods, you got the Crips, and I'm sure something else happened way before just that. They probably had a rival gang situation where that kind of just put the nail in the coffin. But it's sad. It's sad to see that we can't get along. I mean, when Nipsey first died, it was a wonderful thing to see that Bloods and Crips had came together for a short period of time just to give their piece to Nipsey. But now in LA, they're back at it, with the rival gangs and taking over territories, and it's a sad situation.
What you think, Hood?
I think that that was totally unfortunate to happen on the internet. But you can't be playing with these people when you can't be speaking on dead people. That's I don't know. That's just like the new fashion thing. And I always had like an old attitude, like the old people, like you let the dead rest in peace. You don't speak on them. Like even if a person did something bad to you, if they died, it wasn't common to speak bad. Like even if he owed you some money, you ain't gonna be like, yeah, you heard such and that. Yeah, man, that nigga owe me $20. Fuck that nigga. You ain't gonna say nothing like that. You can be like, damn, that's messed up. You know what I'm saying? But you don't speak negative about the dead, no matter what they did in life, because they supposed to be at peace and they supposed to be. And I think it's more so like people taking the hair out the law too far. Some people get offended by it if you speak about their dead friends, and like the Chicago rappers started doing that stuff, even though LA started that gang stuff. So people are mimicking them. Let's get that straight too. So no matter where gang violence goes from, the gang culture originates in Chicago and in California. But it started in Chicago. But the California gangs, when people started adopting this little Crip stuff universally, it come from them. But for him to get shot on the internet, I didn't know why he got shot. But when I posted the video, people were saying that's the dude that was talking about Nipsey Hussle. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And I'm like, well, they were saying that they was ready for beef and all this other stuff because they posted other stuff after that. Like, yeah, fuck what y'all talking about. We know what we did and we did it. So what? Fuck that nigga. But he died from somebody his own game. So I don't know what they had to do with that. It just was like they was clout chasing, and it's like when clout chasing go wrong. That's what I attribute that to. That's why I really don't speak on dead people. Though. That's really like a taboo with me. I mean, even though everybody else doing it, I don't be speaking on that like that. Then I don't smoke weed, so I ain't smoking on nobody ops and all that stuff. It sounds cute until somebody really run up on your ass about that shit. Be dead serious about giving you some business or put some work in on you. So it sounds cute on the song, but
That
when
part.
somebody come about them people, it changed your perspective about it. So I think it got real with him. He's not the first example. It was a dude up in Philly a couple months ago when we was off the air. He was a comedian and he was saying fuck 63rd, but it's the 63rd up there. And he ended up being shot on live running down the street and recorded the person who shot him.
Dang.
And he was running on live trying to get away from the dude. And he was recording on live like, man, I got this camera, I got this camera. And the dude was chasing him like, I don't care about that camera. As soon as he got up to him, he chased him for like 4 blocks because they showed like the other earlier footage because they locked him up. They trying to charge him as a serial murderer because he had shot like 6 people in like a 2 week span. This little boy was like 16. He in Philadelphia. They made a bunch of stuff about him on the internet. And he was the first person to pull up to the jail and shoot somebody, like what we recently just saw again. He pulled up to a jail and killed somebody as they was walking out of the jail. The dude didn't even leave the ground. So this is becoming common too. So a lot of people saying in them type of situations, these young men need to watch who their friends are because their friends got something to do with a lot of this stuff. And for him to be shot wherever he was at, they said it's not a good area where he was shot at anyway. But once he started doing that, and jokingly, he was having a conversation about if you was around the ops neighborhood without a gun on you. If you listen to when the video first come on, that's what he was telling the dude. And the dude was telling him, man, I don't need no gun. I got these hands. As soon as he said that, he laughed and chuckled and the shot started going on.
Huh. What you
That
think,
was
C?
Crazy.
What you think?
I think it's very unfortunate situation, and it seems like now these days the internet never misses anything. Everyone's always recording everything,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it just everything is just at your fingertips, right? I also feel like I'm kind of biased because I also feel like when you're a part of games, you already know what you're signing up for, right?
Right.
So you already know the possibility of what's going to happen. Not saying it's not an unfortunate thing that this happened to him, but he knew the life he was signing up for. I can say that LA violence and gang stuff is so like crazy. Um, but I just feel like after everything that happened with Nipsey and all of them coming together at once for that short period of time, like Lady E said, we have been facing so much within our culture itself. And for me, I feel like it should have gave men a different perspective of even how to move within each other and how to protect each other instead of killing each other, right? Because once we kill each other, then what? Like it just seemed like the perspectives like Nipsey Hussle made a big landmark in everyone's lives when he died. So I just feel like that should have kind of changed the perspective of how you carry yourself. Not saying not ride or die for what you believe in, but find some like real true morals to how you carry yourself and how you can handle situations versus killing each other off.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I agree with that. I agree with all y'all. It's kind of crazy to me how we don't want to see any or report any of these type of stories, obviously. Um, but it also goes back to what Sierra is saying, and these boys already know what they're getting themselves into. When you're a part of that gang life and you doing the gang thing. So that's that type of stuff comes with it, as they say. You gonna end up in jail or dead most of the time. And some of them survive. And be able to live through it and tell their stories, but that's not a lot of times. That's not a lot of cases. Obviously, most of these boys end up, in jail or dead, as it shows. But I just want to touch on how, um, he they disrespected the mural. But what's bad is, the '60s. Okay, the Crip neighborhood that Nipsey Hussle was apparently with, already retaliated on Eric Gardner, the one that actually shot Nipsey. Okay, they
Yeah.
retaliated on his family, for that killing, which is all public records. Basically, it's a few members of that man's family got killed, and we can only assume that maybe it was some small retaliation from that Nipsey Hussle killing. And again, only what we can imagine. But again, coming from this gang life, what we're talking about, that again goes a part of the story. When their homeboys get killed, normally it's some type of retaliation. And in this
it's
case,
a big circle.
Yeah, and they already had maybe made some examples with the Eric Gardner situation, so it would seem like people would kind of leave that alone. For real, the way it would seem like, only because again, what happened to this man's family. So apparently they didn't take any heed to that. Uh, some of these guys feel like maybe they can't be touched or it won't happen to them. And there you have it. Somebody was obviously watching his moves, to be able to
Just like that.
come up and do that to him like that. So somebody was obviously
And
watching.
you see how quick it was. You
Yeah,
saw how quick it was. It was quick as a flash. Like, and for you to
right.
be where you at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, not somebody either one had to put the drop on you
Yeah,
or somebody close to you, or like you said, if somebody's been watching you. Because they just walked on by. You don't see who it was, but they said they walked on by. I think they said he got shot almost up to 12 times and walked on off. And they could go about their lives normally until retaliation, they figure out who the police might not find out who it is, but the streets always finds out who it is first. And then there's going to be retaliation on them. And there's going to be a constant circle of retaliate against this. Oh, you shot my man, now I got to shoot your brother. You shot my girl, now I got to shoot your mother. And it's going to be a constant back and forth, and constant back and forth. My thing is, I just don't know when it's going to end.
yeah. But see, if they never would have did that at the mural and then put their names and everything else, then maybe that wouldn't have happened to him. But see, you did all that and you wanted the smoke.
He basically was flexing.
Yeah, and then you got the smoke. So like none of
Right.
that would have happened to him if he never would have did all that. See how the consequences, like, so even though it might be retaliation on the other end's part for that, regardless, they could have kept they self out of that whole situation, and that man would probably still be alive maybe if they never would have done any of that. Period.
You know,
No, you're
people
right.
people don't know
You're
when to cut it
definitely
off.
right.
Like, yeah. Like they don't realize
But
every action has an effect. It's cause and effect. You do certain things, you bring certain energy to you, and it's gonna find you. You know, he
Oh,
probably
Hood,
didn't
do you
think it was gonna
think that
go
they
that
don't
far. That
realize
somebody really was gonna kill him.
that?
But
Hold on, see.
what you say?
Go ahead, see. Go ahead, see. My
I was saying, is it the fact that they don't realize that every action has a cause and effect, or they just live by code? I mean, regardless of what, some people know when they get into that lifestyle, they're gonna have to do certain stuff. They're gonna have to, just be involved with different stuff. So it ain't it. They have common sense. It's just that they're willing to put their life on the line for certain things. The gang rules is way
Yeah,
different from regular street rules or what rules me and you live by.
yeah.
yeah,
Nah, that's true.
yeah. That's unfortunate though, man. Every a lot of them don't understand cause and effect until it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was on the other foot, he would have had to grow up. Maybe he would have learned the reaction, the cause and effect after he did a crime and got some jail time for like a real actual crime, or he wasn't the victim in the situation. And then that's when you get the situations where you got these people coming from jail trying to tell regular people how to live their life because they done made all these mistakes. Then they come home and they so much wiser and they got so much wisdom because they didn't have to sit down and stuff. So I think it's dumb for people to come to get like that, to come back and think that they grew wisdom from these situations where they already had the wisdom, it's just they didn't know how to follow rules. And it's rules to everything though. And that's what I say, like they need to bring that rule back. Like you don't speak on dead people. If that was the reason he died, I know that's a pretty foolish reason. It's pretty dumb. But at the same time, he really lost his life behind trying to, like you said, clout chase. Like we already established, he was trying to get some type of fame and notoriety from doing something that was devious or like shunned upon. So he did it, and he made that. He wore that badge of honor. So he had this little short run of fame, like people knowing his name, knowing who he is, and then the wrong person knew his name. The wrong person knew who he is. So you wanted to be noticed, and then the wrong people noticed. You wanted to be noticed for the wrong reasons, but then the right people found you. And some people may consider.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, well, I know. I'm gonna say because and the bad part is these are still kids. Like he was 21 years old. Like he didn't even get a chance to really kind of experience life, to even know. To to me, it's like they didn't. Y'all don't even know better. Like y'all haven't really experienced life. Y'all are either following some other older people that y'all think is y'all big G's and OGs and homies and stuff like that, and they putting y'all in a situation to make y'all think that y'all are, like you said, untouchable and invincible, and things can't have a cause and effect, and they are dying younger and younger every day. And this actually brings me to another topic. And I actually found this. I know we had another topic, but this actually kind of goes with what we're talking about as far as the gangs related and retaliation. And these young kids. I'm not sure if you heard about just last week. It's a gang war going on right now. So we're gonna take it from the West Coast and bring it to the East Coast, because it's not just the West Coast. It's a rival gang in the Bronx. Um, just the other day, a 13-year-old along with two other teens pretty much been killed in the past 5 days. Now, the first one was a 19-year-old by the name of Tyquel Dartree. He was killed in front of his house. A couple of days later, the rival gang retaliated on them and killed a 13-year-old by the name of Jaron Elliott. 2 hours after that, they killed a 60-year-old by the name of Ronan Gil Madriano, who they just did a drive-by shooting on him on two scooters. So this is what we're talking about as far as back and forth. Now the Bronx police said, we tried to lock these kids up, but then they get in the jail and they kill themselves in the jail. So then they go back out, they get drugs, they get guns, they get to robbing people, and they said it's pretty much out of control, especially with the young kids, because they're trying to show up for the older kids who are not evidently giving them any guidance. And the retaliation is, well, you die, then you're gonna die. Then you're gonna die. And
Mm.
these again are small kids, 19, 16, and 13. A 13-year-old in a gang. Who even initiated a 13-year-old in the fucking gang?
Yeah.
So,
That's how it be.
lady, I was watching this documentary before, and it was mainly about LA gangs, but some kids are initiated into gangs when they are young, and some of them are actually like pulled out of school to be a part of the gang and then sent on different assignments and runs and doing all this and this and that. And one of the boys, he was like a Spanish boy. He didn't want to live that lifestyle, but he was being raised by his brother because their mother had died. He was being raised by his brother, and his brother was like, "You either be a part of, what this going on, or we are disassociate. You have to disassociate yourself with me altogether. And if anything happened to you, I would not protect you at all." So sometimes it's like it's rooted into the families and stuff like that, and then they pulled in. Sometimes, a lot of kids, you know how it is when you're young, when you don't want to break the silence and you just do what your superior tell you to do. And, they just do what they see other people do sometimes as well. So it's unfortunate. It's that's why you really have to watch how you raise your kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I look. I wanna pinpoint and just piggyback off what both of y'all was saying, especially you, E, as far as the OGs. These older cats that's again should be laying down certain laws, especially if they're part of the gang situation, and it's like a lack of structure. Like how maybe it used to be. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Y'all probably didn't know. But I got a cousin that was a gangbanger. And he actually survived the streets, been shot a few times and went through it. But what he told me a long time ago was they had more structure than you really know as far as your average person. And he comes from LA. And I'm not going to, say too much, but he told me that, they back then, especially back then, because he's a little older than all of us, and he was saying that the OGs and the older guys that they did look up to did do what Sierra was kind of saying, as far as just giving them, certain advice on certain things. Obviously, they already in the game culture, so it's not like everything gonna be positive. But they did give certain advice and certain structure to the game culture. And what I mean is, it's rules and regulations. Okay, you just can't go out there and do drive-bys or do anything you want to do if the OGs did not give those orders. Okay, and when stuff like that happens, there's consequences to those gang members, that their own gang will penalize you for acting out of order. Okay,
Mhm.
but what he also told me was on the East Coast, it's a little different because it really is no organization. A lot of times, there is no OGs over here because most people are for they self over here, even when it comes to certain gang structures. Um, it's not quite the same as the California situation because, again, he was telling me it was more structured because of their overseers, their OGs. So I think it's goes back to that, what you was kind of saying, with maybe a lack of structure between these type of organizations, these crime organizations or whatever, the gangs, and it's like these youngers are just doing whatever they want with no type of
Mhm.
guidance. There's no penalties for their actions within the gangs, maybe, because going back to the Nipsey Hussle thing, we just was seeing, just like y'all said, that the Bloods and the Crips had came together, um, and really not for a short period of time. That truce was kind of still going on for a while, and these guys put themselves right in the middle of something that they didn't even have nothing to do with, for real. And that to me goes back to the structure. The OGs of that neighborhood or that gang should have told them boys like that. Come on, that's the most stupidest thing you could do. Why cause a war between this other gang when we're not even a part of that drama? First of all, we weren't even a part of that.
Yeah.
So why are you including us in stuff that's going to cause a war, basically on the streets, that gang had nothing to do with? That's called gang
Exactly.
structure. And the OGs would have told these youngins who was only 21 years old and around those ages that that is not the right thing to do, obviously. And look what happened. So it seems like it's a lack of structure somewhere, but even on the East Coast, and these boys, which we see in their kids, they out here doing whatever they want to do, and they don't think it's any, apparently maybe any consequences. But back to what Sierra was saying, they probably do know the consequences, and because of the gang lifestyle, they
They just
just
like
don't
it.
care. You
They
know,
like fire. What can I do? What can I
I
fucking
mean,
do?
yeah. So it goes to both sides at the same time, but I still think it's a lack of structure because you only go to war when you have to.
Yep.
And all the OGs knew that. That's why it wasn't any Instagrams or social networks to clout chase on. You didn't have none of that. You know, when these gangs went somewhere to make a statement, they went there to make a statement, literally.
And they went in unity. They went in unity.
Yeah. So everything was done with everybody, or you know what I mean, on a level that again it still falls behind the structure situation. Okay, the gangs in California, most of them had leaders and have leaders, and my cousin still tells me this type of stuff, and it's still leaders right now within these gang neighborhoods and organizations.
Yeah.
So what's happening with some of these youngins? You know, but dude, are they not getting the structure? You know, or back to what Sierra is saying, or they just don't give a fuck anymore.
I think I'm
They
with
don't
Sierra.
care.
They just don't give.
Yeah, they don't care.
They just don't give.
Everybody on they on
It's just
their own time, especially in New York though. Like they got the woes and the chose, and it's like different branches of Bloods and Crips, and that's where all this
Right.
stuff coming from. The mayor just the mayor just decided that it was a like a crackdown on gun violence. Like he about to try to charge people like federally in the state. He about to try to charge people federally for gun offenses in the state because guns are out of control.
I
See,
also think that dang, I lost my train of thought. Oh, I also think that it's three sides to a story. So we just
for
don't know
sure.
the unknown that kind of led him to do all that backlash of writing on there. Like we can make our predictions, but maybe somebody roughed him up a little bit. As a 21-year-old, they set his little ass down like you need to chill out or something. And he felt he felt less of a man or something. Like you just never know like what type of situation he was in that made him want to rebel in the type of way that he did to mess up, you know what I'm saying, that good old nice old pitch and knit.
You right.
Mhm.
You right. See, you right. What's
And then when you think about the different areas, you know what I'm saying? You say, uh, it's different structures as far as LA gangs and New York gangs. New York gangs is like when you think about New York, you are the belly of the beast, it's survival of the fittest, is hundreds of people crowded and living right on top of everybody. Because the projects, they got everybody just lives right on top of everybody. At least with LA, they got a little bit more structure because everybody's kind of spread out a little bit. They don't have those high rise buildings. LA actually has really nice looking neighborhoods. I was like the way they made it seem like all this violence in LA. I'm like, but y'all houses look freaking
That ghetto is really
amazing.
not the ghetto.
I was like, y'all ghetto is really not the fucking ghetto. What are y'all fighting for? But they had less people that they needed to like fight over territory with, and that's how they could probably come together a little bit more. New York is like, boom, I got 19 floors over top of me, and I got to fight for 19 ways to eat, and and this is generational projects. Your mother grew up there, your grandmother probably grew up there. There's people that have been living in these projects for more than 40, 50 years. You know what I'm saying? So, like Sierra said, these people were born into this. This isn't something that just like, oh, this is what you can do. You can get out. They were born into that shit, and they was
Look,
like,
I
it's
used
gonna
to
be
live
either
in New
me
York.
or you.
I used to live in New York when I was young, right? I was like 15. And my first day of school, they was like, "Are you blood or crip?" And I was like, "Nope." They was like, "Don't wear red or blue." Simple.
Just don't do
Go
it.
the other way. I mean, they made it
She
like
wore
really,
pink for the rest
really,
of the
really
year.
clear for me. And even at 14 and 15 years old, they're that young. And when I say they was walking down the hall with like bandanas on, when I say colored out, I mean you would have thought it was a whole Halloween show. Like they have the bandanas, they have the colors, like they representing, they only hanging with those people and at a young age like that. So to see here now in 2021 and these 13 and 14-year olds are doing this in New York, it's like it's not surprising.
Yeah. Look,
I did
And
a
then
little bit
people
of
be a part of
research because
gangs
y'all
to think that they are. I feel like sometimes kids they become a part of a gang because they feel like they somebody once they know that they're a part of something. Like
uh,
I don't know. It goes
know,
back to wanting to
they want
flex.
acceptance. They feel as though it's a fan, they want acceptance. But I
look.
do want to say this because we always got to stay facts. So, as far as shooting victims is concerned, LA is up by because we're already almost halfway through the year. And so they're at 350 shooting victims in LA. In New York is 318 shooting victims in New York. And right in the middle, we can't forget about old Chi-Town. Chi-Town is at 336. Now they're saying it's from last year, the shootings have gone up nearly 25, 33% since last year's numbers.
That's crazy.
And now that we brought it back to Chicago because we had to mention Chicago because crazy shit happened in Chicago. Who wants to talk about what happened in Chicago?
Um,
Good, because we were talking about the dude in Philly that went and shot up the jail in Philly. We just had that happen
Yeah,
in Chicago.
yep.
yeah. What's his name? KTS.
KTS Dre.
The KTS Dre. It's a gentleman named KTS Dre who was released from prison. And upon being released from prison, he was shot 64 times. His mother was shot in the leg, and his sister was shot in the neck. And he was shot 64 times at the prison after making bond. That sounds very suspicious. I think somebody set that boy up. Somebody sent somebody to that boy. 'Cause they said that they don't let it be known when you get out of jail, but they said somebody had posted on Instagram that he was getting out of jail. And then they just showed up to the jail and shot him.
Well, they say he affiliated
And
with a gang, Hood.
yeah, KTS is the game.
That's the gang.
Oh, that's the
His
gang.
name.
Okay.
His name. Yeah, that's their game. That's
Okay.
and on some things on YouTube they say that they
How
they
many
beat
times did he get
they
shot?
not
Like 64 times.
64.
64 times.
Yes.
In front of a prison?
Yeah, in front of the
Yeah,
And the
prison.
cops let
In
him do
front
that?
of
The
Cook
cops didn't
County
shoot the
Jail.
shooter down?
the
Man.
cops ain't come out there.
It's,
Wow,
so
that might
they
have
said
been
that
an
it was
inside
two people that
job.
got out of the vehicle. It said it's
Yeah,
two
two
people that
people.
had got out of the vehicle, and
That
I don't
might
know
have
what
been an
kind of gun
inside
that could be.
job. You know how they are in the prison system. The cops be with that funny shit.
Man, foul.
That's what I'm saying.
Foul.
He made bail and then he gets
Worse.
shot 64 times. Somebody told them where that boy was at.
Yeah, for sure. That and look, I want to tell y'all a story, and cause it's on the topic. Because I end up going to Chicago when I was younger, just for like to visit some family. I got family out in Chicago as well. So I go to Chicago visit some family, and one of my older cousins, he as soon as I come off the plane and we walking out, he tell me, look, turn that motherfucking hat around to the front. Turn it to the front. Talking about my hat, my cap. And I'm like, what? Turn my hat around for what? You know what I mean? I was kind of rebellious that way anyway too. So he like, nah, listen, it's gangs out here. And I was a young boy at the time, and I didn't know Chicago was like that. And he say, look, it's gangs out here. And he say, depending on which way you wear your cap, to the side, this way to the right, or to the left, or maybe to the back or something like that. Look, he was like, that represents a different gang. And I ain't have
Yeah.
no clue about the vice lords and the GDs and stuff like that. I only knew about Bloods and Crips, okay, in LA and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And I ain't have no clue about these other type of gangs and stuff. And so after he told me that, I went on and did what he said, obviously. But years passed later, and here comes Chicago, at the top of the damn murder chart for gangs and shit. And I said, damn, he was right the whole time, but he been told me that when I'm talking about I probably was 13 years old. You know,
Yeah, because
so
they really don't do colors. They really don't do colors.
right.
They do that het thing you talking about. They do that het, and it's documented to tell you what they
Right.
mean. But like they have it cocked to the right over their eye. Some will have it to the side. Some will have it to the left back part like this. Some will have it straight to the back. But yeah, they all mean something different.
True shit,
And
man. So that
they
shit
do the
crazy.
stars and the
Sierra like, let me
5.5.
fix my hat. Sierra like, let me fix my hat.
Like
Yeah,
real
but
talk,
it's
man.
crazy though. Them dudes crazy.
Yeah, that's real talk. So I didn't know it was like that, but back on the topic, with KTS Dre, I think that's of course that's that's unfortunate, just like all the other killings. It don't make no sense, but this type of stuff right here seems real calculated. You know what I mean? How they
People
put
that
how they
stay
put
in jail or
together.
something like.
Yeah, they running
Well,
up
I'm
on
gonna
these
say
boys anywhere. I mean, it seems like they don't even matter if they doing that at the police station. You ain't safe
that
nowhere. You ain't safe nowhere in Chicago, basically.
No,
at all.
nah. That's pretty much for all crime right now. It's a different era in the streets right now. I never seen nothing like it. Everybody's glorifying like shooters and murderers, and I don't know when I ever saw society be so accepting of telling little boys to kill people and music promoting killing and promoting young girls to be strippers. This is like a universal thing. Nobody sees the correlation in this stuff, but it don't. These things have never been normalized in the history of nobody. You used to be ashamed to be a stripper. Instagram made being a stripper one of the coolest things any girl could ever do.
Yeah.
When I knew strippers that didn't even tell you that they were strippers when I was growing up.
Yep.
Now people flaunt being a stripper. People flaunt holding guns and having guns. I knew people who sold drugs, but they wasn't putting that shit on the internet. I
Nope.
knew people who had guns, but it wasn't no internet to put it on. But it was just a different vibe from a hustler a long time ago than a new hustler. These new hustlers want everybody to know they sell drugs. They want everybody to know they got a gun. They want everybody to know where they be at. I be looking like these niggas is crazy. But that's how you could tell like if they really serious about hustling because the ones who really serious, who was taught like that, they don't got Instagrams anymore. They don't participate in internet stuff. They don't really flash guns and videos. And some of them still exist. And they got guns, they got drugs. They just ain't putting it on the internet. It ain't nobody business because that's not something you let people know you're into.
Nope.
That's like something that you keep personal and you hide that. Like prostitution. Like people selling coochie on the internet a long time ago.
Here he go with
You
his
got to go find a
program. He
prostitute.
always got to promote.
Got it. We gotta bring the pussy protection program.
Look, I know, but he right though, man. Cause C too. Cause ain't nobody ain't nobody used to do that back in the day. And even though it wasn't no social networks, we still had cameras. And when people pulled out cameras back then, especially if you was in that life like that, man, niggas was ducking to get away from the cameras. You would not be
No
seen
face, no
on
case.
no camera.
No,
Nope. You ain't being seen on
no
no
face, no
camera
case, you guys.
at all. At all.
Yep.
So now Hood he hitting it on the nose. Everybody and they mother wanna be famous. I don't care if they still in the streets, they on the
Yep.
blocks, literally. And they all wanna be famous. And why you
Because
wanna
you
be
see
famous when
anybody
you
on
on the
social
block?
media. It makes you feel good when you can
Because
just wake up, get on social media, and be whoever you want to be. It's like giving hope.
like I just was thinking about that. I'm so happy that I met that I met you and the internet came about because the internet give you a purpose. Like I didn't know that being funny was something that people did. Like that was more like a social thing that I do when I'm around people. I didn't know like people you could put it somewhere that people could watch it. So Like you sent me that thing last night, and I posted. I was like, damn, ain't nobody been watching this shit. I woke up this morning, people was going crazy. Like, when the fuck did this come out? Who is this? How you? This lady is thinking it's a real show. Okay, this is what the internet is doing to people. She just told me to follow her husband because every Saturday he don't come home. I'm gonna send y'all the messages. This shit was crazy. She told me this man told her that he caught COVID and couldn't be around her. This is her husband though, and he went to Las Vegas with his ex-wife to celebrate her birthday. I said, God damn! I said, you are the show. You're the show. I said, you can just send us
Yes,
these
for
ideas
sure.
and we can make a show for this shit.
Yes.
But she was like,
I'm
no, because she was like,
surprised
I
she
got endless
even wanted
stories.
to tell you that much. That's embarrassing.
Bruh.
That's
She
crazy.
was just no, she sent like paragraphs. She was like, please follow him on every Saturday. He don't answer the phone. He don't do this. He don't do. I'm like, ho, ho, ho. This is a joke. I'm like,
Let me go
this is a
pull up
parody.
on
This
him.
ain't
Hey,
no.
Let me
look,
go
hey,
pull up
look,
on
Hood.
him.
It's
Yeah, I
time
said,
to
this
get
is
paid.
fictional. You trying to get me?
Nah,
Huh?
it's time to get paid, bruh. We need
That's
to
what.
get paid now.
Yeah,
She
that's what
wants
she
you
was
to
saying,
follow
bruh.
it. Yeah, we gonna do it the real.
Bruh. She said she want us to my bad. She said she want us to follow her husband because he and then she said he went to Las Vegas every Saturday. She can't find him. She needs somebody to follow him because he don't answer the phone the whole Saturday. He don't come home. I'm like, look,
Oh
lady, this is
wow.
not real. I'm like, this is a fictional show. I'm like, all that stuff is choreographed. I'm like, none of that is real. She's like, well, it needs to be real because
Hey.
this motherfucker is a creeper. He's a creeper, and I know he's a creeper. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this is getting out of hand already. So, but like, back to
That's
not to,
funny.
to make my point. You gave me an avenue for what to put on the internet because I'm glad the internet wasn't really popping when I was smoking weed, when I was drinking and all that. Drinking, but like when I was smoking weed, really hanging out in the streets, because it would just, you know what I'm saying? People would be able to go back and see this stuff and be like, damn, well, look what he was involved in. Like evidence against yourself. So by
Yup.
having a purpose,
Straight
like
for the feds.
giving my
Straight for the
page,
feds.
yeah, giving my page a purpose. Now it's like, okay, you could sort of lean into the entertainment avenue of it, and it don't gotta be all gang shit. Like people know where I'm from and all that other stuff, but I'm not fully dedicated to that type of lifestyle. I'm not gonna be sitting there on my page like, oh yeah, we out here we got some weed, we got the bitches, we got this. Like, nah, like you know what I'm saying? Like that ain't what it just shows you that it's a powerful tool. It's a very powerful
Yeah.
tool, but it's just like we're using it the wrong way, and it's crazy because I was just thinking about that, and I didn't even know we was gonna somehow
But
correlate it
it'd
with
be
the
a lot
show.
of
But I
capping
was,
though too.
yeah, I was thinking
It'd be
about
a
that
lot
though
of people
because
capping
when we
on
was
the
growing
internet
up,
too.
you had
You
to go
like,
to the
you
club.
ain't really doing all that. You ain't
Yeah,
really
and then
doing
they
all
only
that.
show you the good stuff too. They only show you the good stuff. They don't show you when they doing bad or when they feel bad about themselves. They only show you when they doing good.
Exactly.
But I was just thinking about that. Like when we was like 16, we didn't have an internet. We could shop on the internet. We had dial up. We didn't have like internet in our pocket. Like people don't know how to realize how unique a smartphone is. Like you can literally pick your phone up and go live somewhere. We didn't have that. We had to go sit at a computer or something like a stable stationary thing in the house, a computer desk or something.
Yeah.
And we
AOL.
had to go to the go-go's, and we had to go to the go-go's and to the skating ring to be known. So if you wasn't in these places, then you wasn't meeting the
Yep.
people who was somebody because you wasn't out in them social gatherings to
Right.
be known. Even if it was for fighting or if you were just
To
there
be who
observing,
you are.
but people always took notice who was there. So a person see you later, be like, oh, that's the dude from the go-go, or that's the dude from over there. That's how you got your popularity. And some of those people caught the internet at the right time that they took their popularity over to the internet. I didn't know what it was going to
Yep.
translate into. Like I didn't know like having 4,000 followers or something. Like I didn't think nothing of that stuff because I never brought followers. I didn't know it was a good or bad thing, but I do know one thing. I wish I would have paid more attention when I got on Instagram because the police is somewhere in my Instagram. Every time I post something crazy, I get blocked or get reported. And when I do it on these other pages, don't nothing happen. So I'm like, okay,
They
somewhere in these
blocking your
people is the
blessings. Tell them
police.
stop blocking your blessings.
Nah, Hood,
Yeah,
Hood. Listen, bruh.
yeah.
You know, look, I'm gonna tell you something real, bruh, cause you already know we from the same place. And I'm on the block. I'm on the block one day, and I swear to you, bruh, I forgot who else was out there. We right on at the corner store. You okay? I ain't gonna
Mhm.
say no streets or nothing like that. But we at the corner store right there. And listen, the police was right there. okay, on the corner, cooling, and you know how they be fucking with people sometimes. Not like in a bad way, like taking niggas down and no shit like that. I'm talking about talking to motherfuckers, okay? And what these motherfuckers was sitting up there telling motherfuckers is he pulled up his phone. I don't know who it was, of course. I can't remember the police or none of that, but I know he pulled up his phone, a black officer. Pulled out his phone, went straight to his Instagram, bruh, and pulled up, man, started pulling up people on the motherfucking IG that he be following and shit. Straight like
Mm-hmm.
that. Okay? A
Yeah, I
straight
never knew.
police. Exactly. So
Because it's the
these
family.
these niggas be, doing the most on the social networks, and a lot of time don't even know, dog. The police literally be watching this shit
Watching.
for real, like on your
Yeah,
page, literally. Okay, and you don't even be knowing. They don't even be knowing. And it be the motherfucking police that's right there in your neighborhood, bruh. That's watching your
yeah.
fucking
Watching.
social network. Yeah.
And it got to
Like,
a
you
part of
gonna
their
get
job
this. We
because then
building
it's
a
like
case. We gonna get
you
their
give
ass
it.
one day.
I couldn't
Just
even
they
believe
just
You
that.
wait
give
for
it,
that
you give
right
them an
time.
avenue. You give them an avenue into your existence. Because like people don't realize, like some people get immortalized through the internet too. Like when you pass and stuff, people can go back and look at you, see, hear your voice, that type of crazy stuff that we didn't have back in the past. But it also gives people an avenue into your life. Like it makes you reachable. Like a man don't have to have a woman number no more. You could just DM her. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of precautions that we overlook. We think it's funny or we think it's cool. Like, oh, this person DM me this and the third, but that's somebody being able to reach you
Right.
anyway. Like I don't even use people numbers because most of the time if I tell people you want to reach me, just you'll get me better on the internet. I'm always on the internet.
Send
I'm on
me a
the internet all
DM.
day.
It goes
Yeah,
down
because
in the
I'm
DM.
always on the internet, and it ain't even on
And that's
purpose,
why
but it's
y'all
just like
men don't know how to
it's so
date, because
resourceful.
y'all always just talking about DMs and it's all this informal bullcrap. But that's a topic for another day.
Don't bring it here,
But
see.
yeah, that's
Men.
definitely something for the
Don't you
next
bring it there
show.
with the men, see.
Yeah, I don't be
Hey, that
DMing
might
people
be
though.
the
I'm scared of
throwdown
that. I told that's too
Thursday.
much
Is it
evidence.
appropriate to
That's
DM
too much
somebody?
evidence. Yeah, and that's
We'll
why I don't
see.
do
We'll
stuff on the
see.
internet because it's too much evidence. Because I even look at DMs like that. Like I'm really like, because I've seen women get caught up with cheating, and then they just be like, "Oh, I got the receipt." And they just screenshotted all this shit you just said, and you think you erasing messages,
Look,
and they all screenshotted and then
receipts.
showing it to your girlfriend and all that. See, so I see a lot of red flags with the internet
but
culture. So
what's up with this though? What's up with this though, y'all? And I want to go back to the topics. Just before we
Oh,
wrap it up. Now hold up. Now, just like Indian Red, who was just killed. Um, um, they put their locations. Okay, can't you put your locations when you be at these events or live wherever you going at? And
yep.
they be posting their locations, and I'm only saying that to go along with again the Indian Red situation, the police situation we were just talking about, along with all these other people, these young boys that been killed on the live on the IGs, and it's like just like the
Yeah, you can
police.
post your location, but you don't have to. It not all the time. You post your location and you're still at the location. So if all of us
Yeah.
was to go to dinner right now at downtown at Roof Chris, and I make a video or if I take a picture, I could post it later, and the location on the phone is still going to pop up as Roof Chris.
Yeah, but it's still I hear what you're saying, see, but that's why I was just bringing up, using for example the red, the Indian Red situation because he was on live, which we know, but we don't know if his location was on or any of that, but that all goes apart to
Well, I don't.
what
I don't
they
think
be
his
doing on.
location was on.
Uh,
Well, that's what I was saying. We thought it was an inside job because when his friend asked where he was at, his last words was Hawthorne.
Hawthorne,
Hawthorne.
exactly.
He was trying to tell him where he was at.
Right, right,
So
right.
again, it had to be somebody that already knew where he was gonna be at, knew that's probably where he be chilling at, or something like that. You fail to realize people have the same routine
Yeah,
every day. I get up every day at a certain time. I'm going to the same job. If somebody want to find you, they gonna find you. You don't need to be tagged to know where your ass is gonna be at. If he
I,
a drug dealer in that neighborhood, they know he's gonna sit in that car and probably do what he be doing every single fucking day.
yep.
It's especially if they in the hood. He that might have not did nothing, um tagged himself that day, but they probably knew he'd be in that neighborhood,
Yeah, yeah.
KK
or what
said,
kind of
"Welcome
car
to
he
the
drive,
Twilight Zone."
or you know what I'm saying. I'm sure he took pictures of his car and welcome this Twilight Zone. Yeah, pretty much. It is the Twilight Zone because shit is getting crazy out
Yeah,
here. It's
this
getting
shit is
crazy.
unreal. This shit is definitely unreal. The shit that's happening, and then back to KTS Dre, and being shot up in front of the police station, and it is the Twilight
Yeah.
Zone out here, and it ain't even it ain't no game. I think everybody need to just just stop the clout chasing, maybe just for a little bit. Put the social networks down maybe for a little bit. And at least while you out there doing wild shit. Um,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
certain stuff don't come back. I mean, we used to
Real
try to
life don't
be
come back.
like people that did crimes, or the criminals, and you used to did try to do moves, um under the radar. God damn it! Obviously, you want to get away with whatever you trying to do. So it's like you used to try to do shit so you won't get caught. But now it don't seem like they even care about getting caught with certain things. They just post stuff and do stuff. Just like what's the other clout chasing video that we was talking about with the guy riding around with the dead body? If that's even true. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
That type.
they was on live. I'm
That's what I'm
still
saying.
trying to get facts on that.
Who would want to
I'm
ride
still
around
trying to
with a
get
dead
facts on
body?
that. But it was
That's
a
so
group of
stinky.
guys that
That's what I'm saying. It don't make no sense. So
No.
yeah, like who who does that and then post it if that's even real? Because I don't know if it was real or not. I didn't really go into it too much. But it's just
Right.
wild to see that. Hold on, let me X E out. It's just wild to see. Obviously, that shit, man. People be posting this type of stuff. It's crazy. But look,
Yeah, we in a new generation. Everybody got to do what they got to do.
I know. Any last words on that? C Hood?
No, I just hope that things get better out here with the men in our culture in this society. We already have it rough enough with being the culture out in our culture. We have it rough enough on its own. I think it's really time for us to change the narrative and try to unify more. I mean, I know that's harder than what I'm making it seem, but it have to start from somewhere. So someone have to be the voice of the street to try to make that happen and set an example.
Yeah, for sure. What you think, Hood? Any last words?
Yeah, I think people just need different avenues to express themselves and get out of the gang life because it's easy to fall victim to it because it is popularized and it's like that's what's cool. And like every generation, there's always something that's cool. Like when we was growing up, everybody wanted to be like the dudes on Ministry Society. Believe it or not, that was very unique to us. First time ever saying stuff like that. Everybody wanted to be O Dog. All the little boys be their hair out. Nobody wanted to be Kane. Not because he died at the end, but because he had sort of like some sense. For real. You know what I'm saying? He had some sense with him. If you look at the movie, he had some sense. And he always just question like what if or why? Or why should we do this? Why should we do that? And when you with people who like they call it the go along, get along game. But like when you with people who don't really got their own opinions and they don't really have the right uh role models or the right upbringing, they fall for anything. So they easy to bring into their world and ride for the block and do all this other dumb stuff for the block, et cetera, et cetera. But it's real hard to differentiate yourself when everybody doing the same thing. It sort of make you an outcast. But I've lived that, and it's a good thing in the end. But nobody sees it in the beginning. Like right now, I'm really rebellious against the whole culture that they create and far these girls being strippers and these little boys thinking it's cool to go to jail. Because right now, I deal with dudes who didn't even deal with me when they were home, but when they in jail, they're like, "Oh, you got a job? Oh man, you need to send me some money." But we didn't even hang out tough like that when you was outside. But now I'm like, I'm a needed asset, or you see the value of not doing wrong. So now you like, oh man, I'm so proud of you for doing good, but send me some money. So it's not really that they're proud of you. They still ain't learned their lesson. It's just they need to use you to get some type of revenue because they put themselves in a messed up situation. And it's sad that that's something that we socially accept, and we think that and then now they in jail like, oh, I wish I would have did it different. Or when I get out, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. But they really ain't learned their lesson yet. That's why they I never seen so many people happy to kill people. They kill somebody like, yeah, they giving out 10 years now. They giving out 15 years. I smoke a nigga. I'm looking at these niggas like, are you crazy? But that's really the attitude of like a majority of any dude you talk to in the hood. And it's like from like 26 on down, they really got that mentality. You know what I'm saying? So it's just unfortunate. And it's just like it's not gonna fix itself, and it's not nothing that society gonna have to fix neither. It's just more so they gotta start finding positivity before it's too late, because it's always easy to do something bad and then be like, I wish I could have. So we gotta start really putting in people's face. You need to do the things that you think you can't do now. At least try that first. Don't try to put yourself into a hole and then dig yourself out, because that's something that we popularize in black society. We allow a black woman to have a child at an early age and then figure out how she gonna get housing, then figure out how she gonna get daycare. White people live their lives, or Caucasian people live their lives. They get everything they want before they bring somebody else into the world. Then it's not such a struggle. They have a house to go home to. They're not going to Virginia Williams with trying to apply for housing and living over in the shelters where Vanessa Rugg got lost at. This the type of stuff we gotta stop. We gotta stop. Like, oh, it's okay to be a teen mom. No, the fuck it's not. It's not, because you don't got nothing as a teen mom. What the fuck do a teen mom got to offer a baby besides a pussy to come out of it? You don't got nothing to offer a baby, so don't have it. You know what I'm saying? We gotta stop popularizing these little dudes thinking like, oh yeah, my son, he made a couple mistakes. He a car thief, this, that, and the third. Nah, he started being going off track. Smack the shit out of his ass. Tell him, look, nigga, this ain't the life for you. I ain't got time to be sending nobody no money in jail. And if you go to jail, I'm not sending your ass no money. We gotta start enforcing these things, because if we don't, we making them think it's okay and you can fix your mistakes after they made. And that's what I really see. Like, people are willing to make mistakes that they didn't have to make, and it's unfortunate, but it's just like it's so like they trying to normalize it so much that, especially to the minorities, they're trying to normalize it so much. Like, oh, we got programs, we got grants, we can do this, we can do that, we can get you housing, we can get you Section 8. And it's creating a cycle of their children growing up in that, their children being subjected to that, and then repeating those same things because the mother said, well, you pregnant at 15, well, go to this place, they're going to get you an apartment. See, that's not what I want for my 15-year-old daughter. I want her to finish high school, go to college, meet a man. You can have a baby after you do those things, because then you got money to support the child. But don't just bring a baby. Like, it's just certain things that we just normalizing and shouldn't be normalized. And that's where it's starting at. It got to start at some type of preventive measures before these people get to these points, because that's what's breaking them, and that's what's causing these situations, because people allow them to go so far into it that they don't know how to go back or draw away from it. You have to really show them that there's other avenues, there's other options in life, and it doesn't have to be the mistake first and then fix it. You can actually make a plan, go about that plan, and then become something, and then do these things. Then make mistakes. Make mistakes on the back end. Don't make them up front. And that's where you get first time offenders from. That's where you get all these young men in jail from because they're making the mistakes in the beginning of their lives, and then they're trying to come back to society and fix it. To a person like me, I don't give them no respect, but society
Unfortunately,
respects me.
that's how
I
the
don't.
system has been rigged. We've been rigged for years and years and years and years. It leads back to
Yeah.
changing the narrative and starting from somewhere. But it's like if we depend on the government or anybody else to try to help us do something, we may as well just forget it.
Yep.
Or we're going to end up doing the same things that you just said. Lady E, you have any last remarks?
Well, I definitely agree with both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's changing the narrative, it's changing the cycle, is changing what we perceive as good. But just like Hood said, it's kids raising kids nowadays.
Hmm.
When we grew up back in the day, we some of us, not saying that we were single parent, we everybody had a mother and a father in a household. But I know Roy isn't get, growing up back in the day, my mother was a single parent, but she taught me the structure of working. Now we got these kids, and now they best friends, and now they all on the street, and they all gang banging, and it's like there is no actual leadership in what they're in anything. They're feeding off the government because they started off already, like you said, Hood, on the wrong foot, on the wrong path. And now they are
Yeah.
forced to be put in situations where they might not want to be, but y'all started too early, having babies too early, trying to be in single parents too early, getting put in the system too early. So again, like, we have to change the narrative. We have to, help these kids. Look, protection, birth control, condoms, they I don't I used to see places where they was giving condoms out for free. Now it's $5 a pack for three. These kids is too young to fucking even pay for that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plan B.
Yeah.
It's
They ain't
fifty
paying for no
dollars.
time.
$50 for a plan B. A 15-year-old can't pay for a plan B.
I'm about to buy me a
I mean, they
bunch
should
Well,
of
be
that's where
fucking
her
first
mama come in at. Her mother still gotta be a mother. Mom, I need
yeah.
$50.
Right. And
But
that's
like
what
you
it all
said,
boiled down.
the mother probably 30, she 15, and her mother think it's cute. Like, oh, we just gonna get some more food stamps for crab legs. Don't wanna
Yeah.
have
You
that
already
baby.
know the deal.
Yeah, that's why
Go ahead,
I
Adrian.
Sierra was saying what she's saying. It start with us. That's exactly why she
Yeah.
said that. Because it start with us, man. Just like she said, we can't wait on the
Oh,
gut
this show got intent.
or none of that shit. We gotta start trying to do shit ourselves and change certain things. That's why I'm with the pussy protection program. Okay.
Yeah.
And and you know what I'm saying? We with you too, Sierra. You feel me? But yeah, we gonna go back and forth on what the men gotta
And
do
we
and
can go back
what
to the
the
gym
women
all
gotta
day.
do. Okay? Women gotta do their
Yeah.
part and the men gotta do our part and on both sides with the young boys and with the young girls and stop giving bad advice out. Us being older,
Yeah.
We gotta
we
teach
gotta
these girls
stop
to step up their
giving
pussy
bad
game because
advice.
y'all men is crazy.
Girl, we ain't
Hmm.
even gonna go there. Y'all just as crazy as we is. Even
That's it.
worse.
Well,
I think they a little worse, hood.
we can say that for Throwdown Thursday. We can save that for Throwdown Thursday. But
The
y'all know
perfect
what time
Yeah.
it is.
topic.
Already 9:10.
Yeah,
So
let's wrap it up.
um, let's wrap it up. So y'all know where to find us every Tuesday and Thursday. Trending Topic Tuesdays 8 p.m. Throwdown Thursdays 8 p.m. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Put your notifications on so every time we go live, we are live, so you can hear all the topics that we're going through. You can comment at the bottom. My phone died.
Yeah. I'm about to put the link into. Uh,
Ah,
I'm about to put the link to the
Agreed,
YouTube
toy.
page on my Instagram pages so people can go straight to it. That makes sense. I'm
Yeah,
gonna put
yeah.
the link to the Street Talk page on my page so
Yeah.
y'all can check us out and look out for that premiere tomorrow. I know everybody got their panties in the bunch. I don't even know how long the joint is. Well, how long is the show? Tomorrow? 30 minutes? 20 minutes?
Um, it's about what 10, 15 minutes maybe at the most. It ain't that long.
For real?
Yeah,
Oh, you
yeah,
should have made it 20 minutes. All right, next time we go over 20 minutes. But yeah, y'all tune in tomorrow for this 10 minutes of greatness and some crazy stuff going on. We got Sierra being ghetto. She really looked like she was ghetto. I was looking at it earlier. She looked so serious. I
yeah.
would hate to ever date somebody that was serious like that. She was real loud mad. I was like, damn, this shit came out looking sweet. But yeah, tune in tomorrow. We're gonna be on there. And I'm gonna put the link
What
on my
9 o'clock?
pages so y'all can see it. Yeah,
Yep.
and you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Thursday at 9.
Oh,
Good evening, ladies and
shit.
gentlemen.
Hey,
It's your boy, Mr. Hood, and I'm
Who
from the
did
show
this?
Creeps.
hold
Where if
up.
there's suspicion, we will listen.
No,
If
no.
your girl is missing,
All right, there you go. Yeah, yeah. I was trying to get ready to pull it up before we had went off on them. But yeah, 9 o'clock hood. Remember, tell them 9 o'clock. We live and
Yeah, I am.
direct with creepers.
I am. So I'm about to go find a link to the YouTube page and put it on there for everybody.
All right, that's what's up. Look, thank everybody for
All right.
tuning in, watching, commenting. Toy, KK, okay, our fam. I want to shout out, man, the Beat Your Feet boys, my man Crazy Legs, Noodles, okay, everybody that's bigging up the youth and not letting them gang bang and do stuff like that. So shout out to the dance community as well. And man, it was a good show. Good looking, Hood. We out of here. I'm gonna
Hey,
run the
no
creep
problem, man.
form.
Thank you.
I'm gonna run the
All
creep
right.
form and
I'm
then we
putting you in the
out.
green room. All
I'm
right.
gone.
good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, Mr. Hood, and I'm from the show Creeps. Where if there's suspicion, we will listen. If your girl is missing, we gon' find her. If your husband is lying, we gon' blind her. Cause we gonna be hiding behind the blind, watching his ass doing some creepy ass shit. Cause half of these people out here are creeping and doing some nasty shit, and we gonna find out. So welcome to the show Creeps.
Run it up, run it up, get the bag, fuck it up, run it up, run it up, get the bag, fuck it up, run it up, run it up, get the bag.
If your girlfriend laying next to you not speaking, the bitch is creepy. If your man out here always hanging with his friend down, that nigga sleep somewhere else. Don't trust these niggas, don't trust these hoes.
In her new Jimmy Choo, got these niggas looking at me like, babe, what it do?
Don't trust these
Eventually,
niggas. Don't
this
trust
show
these
is gonna
niggas.
show you how to be a more better creeper. Cause if I
More
can
better
catch you
creeper.
creeping, then your ass ain't creeping right. You got to creep subliminally. Thank you for tuning in to Creepers.
Yo,
Hey,
that's
man, that's some
crazy.
funny shit.
Hood, we
That's
on
some funny
9 o'clock
shit.
tomorrow, man. Lit.
All right.
All right,
All
soldier.
right. All right. Have a nice night.
Gone.